I'm Dave, Kay's eldest son. Today we're here to celebrate her 95th birthday, and we're going to share a few stories of her life with you. Mom was born in Winnipeg and grew up during the dirty 30s with her brother Don and her sister Betty. The Reed family lived briefly in Swan River and Kenora before settling in Winnipeg. Mom graduated from Gordon Bell High School and then attended United College. Her first job was selling lingerie at the Bay, for which she was paid the princely sum of 23 cents an hour. Her next job was a step-up though. She was a switchboard operator at Aronovich and Leipzig, a real estate and insurance firm. Her paycheck there was an impressive $50 a month. She was eventually promoted to the position of junior stenographer. One of the managers from whom she took dictation was Cy Alsop, the company's tall, handsome, and debonair insurance manager. He was 10 years older, a real man of the world in Mom's eyes. He, like Mom, already had a steady. But fate apparently took a hand and they became a couple, because otherwise I wouldn't be here today. They were married on July 31st, 1942, and had a 2-month honeymoon before Dad was called up by the Air Force. After training in Calgary, he was posted to Tor Bay, Newfoundland in 1943. By that time, I was on the way. I showed up in January of 1944, but I wasn't approved by Dad until I was 3 months old, when he finally got leave to come home and inspect me. He gave me his stamp of approval, and they decided to keep me. My brother Keith arrived in 1947, and my sister Janie was born in 1949, and our family was complete. In those days, Mom was totally taken up with being a mom. She sewed our clothes, made our Halloween costumes, and cooked and baked from scratch. She always celebrated the special days. Valentine's Day meant a heart-shaped cake with pink icing. St. Patrick's Day meant cupcakes with green icing. Birthdays meant cakes with coins baked inside them. Thanksgiving and Christmas meant her famous orange pie. She was a terrific cook. Keith and Jane and I skated in the backyard rink that our dad flooded every winter for us. Moccasins, toques, and parkas were part of our lives in winter. Idyllic summers were spent at Victoria Beach on Lake Winnipeg. Mom often says that she's the luckiest person in the world, but my brother and sister and I feel that we have an equal claim to that title. We basically won the lottery of life by having Mom and Dad as parents. Thanks, Mom.
Nice. Nice.
Hi, I'm Keith, Kay's second son. When we were small, Mom felt the pinch of a too tight budget, and she started looking for outside pay sources. She typed polio policies for Dad's office, packed school photos, worked as the minister's secretary at the little church down the street, and did some modeling. Then one day, Mom's younger sister Betty, who worked at the Winnipeg Tribune newspaper, heard Mom's hilarious recounting of attending a hat sale at the Bay and said, "Katie, write that up." Mom said, "I couldn't do that." But my aunt insisted. Mom wrote it, Betty got it printed, and that was the start of Mom's writing career. Mom went on to write a front page feature about the World Series and several other widely published pieces that brought her to the attention of the regional editor of Maclean's trade publications. He hired her as a regular contributor for Style magazine, a publication for garment manufacturers. The host of CBC Ladies First afternoon TV show met Mom and was intrigued by her exuberant spirit. He asked her to come and be interviewed as a possible hostess for the show. Typically, Mom said, "Oh, I couldn't do that." But she did do that, and guess what? She was hired. And from 1962 to 1965, she hosted the Ladies First TV show as well as the evening news. She was a frequent guest panelist on nationally televised CBC shows such as Front Page Challenge and Flashback. From Mom and Dad, my brother and sister and I learned the value of doing work that we really enjoy. We learned that work can provide an identity and a strong sense of self-esteem. We learned that if you decide to do something, you should do it to the very best of your ability.
Hi, I'm Jane. Dad's company moved him to Vancouver in 1967, and Mum and I moved with him. Through a friend, Mum met Sima Holt, a famous investigative reporter for the Vancouver Sun. After hearing about Mum's broadcasting background, Sima said to her, "But you should be working for Pacific Press." Mum said, as usual, "Oh, I couldn't do that. I've got no college degree, no journalism training. I've never even been in a newsroom." Undeterred, Sima took Mum to meet Patty Sherman, editor of the Vancouver Province newspaper. Patty looked at her portfolio, said, "You've been having a hell of a lot of fun, haven't you?" and hired her. And thus began Mum's life as a province reporter. It was easily the happiest segment of her professional life. From 1968 to 1979, she was a staff reporter for the province, writing features, human interest stories, covering business and politics. She covered Pierre Trudeau's first campaign for Prime Minister, and she and Sima Holt scored the very first interview with Margaret Trudeau, which was published in Chatelaine magazine. Mum wrote extensively about women's issues and family law reform, columns that earned her a YWCA's Woman of Distinction award. She won a Macmillan Bloedel Award as well for a feature article on separatism. She was the very first woman to fly with the Snowbirds, Canada's iconic aerial acrobatic flying squadron. She was officially proclaimed First Lady of the Snowbirds by George Miller, national team leader. For the province, Mum interviewed many famous performers. Her reputation for doing positive and supportive celebrity interviews meant that she was personally requested by virtually every celebrity who performed in Vancouver, including Johnny Carson, Liza Minnelli, Mitzi Gaynor, Tony Bennett, Ella Fitzgerald, Joan Crawford, Sonny and Cher, Paul Anka, Phyllis Diller, Zsa Zsa Gabor, Vincent Price, and Carol Channing. In 1979, the province appointed Mum as fashion editor. The paper sent her twice a year to cover the international collections in Paris, Milan, Rome, New York, and Los Angeles. I used to live in the West End, and because I worked downtown, I walked to work. One day, I was hoofing it to work, and I screeched to a halt as I passed a newspaper vending machine. There, in the front of the box, was a big photo of my mom, with the tagline, "Kay Alsop lights up your day in the province." I clearly recall saying to myself, yes, she does. In 1985, Mum retired from the province and began working as a freelance journalist. She lectured on writing at Blanche Macdonald Career College. She freelanced for many magazines, and she wrote 2 books. She was a devoted wife to my dad. She served on the boards of the West Vancouver Memorial Library, the YWCA, and her beloved church. I may be the person who knows Mum best. I've been her best friend, and she's been mine since my early teens. She's had a big life, a great career. She's received many honors. She's expanded her mind and her horizons as much as she possibly could. She questions everything. She listens actively, and she never stops learning. She is, to my mind, absolutely fearless, and she has always, eventually, said yes to all of the opportunities that came her way. She's lived life to the hilt, and she's an inspiration to many people, me included. She's aged the way we all wish we could. She's still feminine, still fun, still living in her own beautiful apartment, still living life with enthusiasm. She's brought joy and comfort and warmth to so many people. She has a limitless gift for friendship. She's been a wonderful mother to her own children, and she's also mothered many other people over the years. From struggling young Vancouver designers to her Sunday school students to neighbors, she's nurtured them all with love and hugs and a never-ending supply of chocolate chip cookies. Everywhere we go together, we run into Mom's friends whose faces just light up when they see her. Everyone hugs her. When I meet one of Mom's friends for the first time, invariably I hear one of two things. The first thing is, "Your mother is just amazing." The second thing is, "I want to be Kay when I grow up." Well, the line forms to the right. Love you, Mom.
I've had the most wonderful life, and over the past 95 years, through all the ups and downs, I've learned some valuable lessons. My daughter Janie tells me that I should share them with you, and since I always do what Janie tells me to do, here they are. I've learned to say yes to life. If somebody offered me an opportunity and I was hesitant and they said, "Yes, you can," I did it. And so I really have learned to say yes to life. I've learned to keep a smile on my face no matter what, because people smile back. I've learned that no matter how famous people are, they're really just like the rest of us. I've learned to make health and fitness a priority. I've learned to tell people that I love them. Say the words, write the email. And I've learned that if you want to age gracefully, you need to keep your teeth white, your nails neat, and your bosoms lifted by a good bra, assuming, of course, that you're female. I'm thankful for all of you who've loved me, cared for me, helped me, and made my life so happy. All of you who are here today are here because I love you. I want to thank some very special people. My pals from the West Van Recreation Center, where I've attended fitness classes for decades, including Sadie Harvey, Darlene Holmes, Martin Pino, Mary Thompson, and Bob McIver. Thank you for making fitness such a fun part of my life. The beautiful people at my little church, including Bill and Elaine Coleman, Janet Allwork, Barb Fife, the Hogan family, John Murtaugh, and Max and Chris Kelsch. Sundays are the happiest day of the week for me because I get to see your smiling faces. My colleagues from the world of journalism, including Patty Sherman, Jim Taylor, and Valerie Castleton. My good friends from the world of fashion, including Ella Little and Denise Taylor. My traveling companions, Marian Dodds and Annalisa Egger. What happy memories we share. Colonel George Miller, who took me up in a Snowbird fighter jet to become First Lady of the Snowbirds, and later at the age of 73 arranged for me to have a flight over the city in another Snowbird. My friends Celia Campos, Cheyenne Hood, Judith Chandro, Bob and Vi Crone. My friends from West Royal, including Margaret Young, Henry and Ruth Schwang, Gulzar Zia and Faye Jamal, and my beloved Kaylin. My realtor, Penny Mitchell. Penny, thank you for finding West Royal and knowing that it would be the perfect home for Cy and me. My doctor, Michael Knight. You've always treated me with such skill, such affection, and respect. My late beloved dentist and friend, Dr. William Liebenberg. My hairdresser, Stella, who uses every trick in the book to keep me looking presentable. My longtime support team, including my accountant and former daughter-in-law, Diane Alsop, my stockbroker, Hugh Mitchell, and my beloved computer tutor, Simon Etterman. You all look after me with such skill and such affection. My grandchildren, Meredith and Erin, Scott and Reed, and my great-grandchild Maddie. You've all brought joy to my life. My adopted children, Mike and Bibi Bayrish, who live next door to me and care for me as tenderly as if I were their mom. Darling Lindsay, who's been an unofficial part of the Alsop family for decades. My son-in-law Paul and my new daughter-in-law Christine. My very best girlfriend Dorothy Watson. Thanks for the bran muffins and the love, Miss D. My wonderful caregiver, Selena McCarty. You have the patience of a saint, Selena. I don't know how I would get through the days without you. And most of all, my beloved children, David, Keith, and Jane. You are always so good to me. I love you more than you can possibly imagine. I am, without a doubt, the luckiest old broad on the planet. Happy birthday to me! Cheers!
Valentine's Day meant a heart cake shape. Better start that over again.
And several other what? That was where I did it.
You had to come and listen. You disturbed my concentration.
It's all good.
Oh, that's a good picture. Do you want to take that picture, sweethearts?
See, the big smile is wonderful.
Yeah,
Absolutely wonderful. You just look gorgeous when you do that.
Now, you know, I have had the best life in the world. Honestly, so many lucky breaks and so many beautiful people and oh my goodness. Enough already.